Wednesday edition of SunTV. I'm Clint Franks. With me, as always, is our editor and publisher of the Sun Advocate, Deanne Campbell. Good morning, Deanne.
Good morning, Clint. How are you doing?
Doing fine. Deanne's got some information for us. Today is paper day at the Sun, and we open our broadcast with breaking news out of New York.
Well, as most of you already know and have seen the news on TV, today all that news is mostly about what happened in New York City on Tuesday when Islamic terrorists mowed down 8 people, killed 8 people, injured 11 more in a terrorist attack. It's actually the worst that New York City has seen since 9/11.
Right.
Even though it really doesn't compare when you look at numbers, it's still just as scary, just as frightening, and just as upsetting to the people of New York. It really seems to never end. That's the way we live in 2017. Every day it seems like we've got another attack to face, another radical terrorist who has tried to do damage somewhere in the world. And it's just the way we live these days, that we have to put up with senseless killings in the name of some so-called religion from somebody who worships some twisted idea of what God is, and decides that it's okay to kill innocent people in the name of that religion. I don't believe it'll stop anytime soon, Clint. I don't know at what point we could call the war on terror over with. I don't believe that we ever will, not in our lifetimes. But today, the news is filled with something else, too, related to that. And it's what happened after that attack in New York City.
You're exactly right.
It's, and I'm not just talking about the response of the responders, the law enforcement and ambulances. I'm talking about what happened in New York City yesterday and even today after that attack. Life went on.
That's right.
They held their Halloween parade just like they planned. They went on about their lives just like they planned. Kids are in school today. People are at work today. It didn't stop the life in New York City. And it shouldn't. They lived their lives, and they didn't cower to the enemy like the enemy wanted them to, because that's what the enemy's after. And that's what we do here. We've learned to survive, and we learn to go on, and we live our lives, and we do what we do. And we do that not just because it is what we do, but because that's the best way to fight back.
That's exactly right. When you bow down to the whims of cowards, they win.
That's right. That's right. Well, there's not a lot of positive light to shine for the families who lost people yesterday, but if you could find a light, it's this, that for just a few minutes after these things happen, we usually put aside our differences and band together as Americans. Most of the time lately, that doesn't last very long, maybe even only a half a day, and we start our division again. But for just a few minutes, we call ourselves Americans and we stand together. But you know what? That's something that I really think we need to talk a lot about. The issue that we have in this country today that's really going to destroy us. That enemy who calls itself Islamic terrorism will not destroy us, but what's happening to our country from the inside will destroy us if we don't find some way to do something about those things that divide us.
I heard Jerry Clower said it. The late great humorist Jerry Clower always said this. He said, "This nation will never fall from a foreign power. It won't happen. We will not have to worry about being invaded. We love our freedom too much. But if we were to ever fall, it will be from within, and folks look at it." That's exactly what's happening.
That's right. You know, and this is probably, we're talking about unity today, and we really don't want to go into the divisiveness that's going on in our country. But I have to say that there's not a lot of people in New York City who today don't know that they are Americans, that they live there. And because that's the reason the enemy comes after us. They don't like our way of life. And for them to go on about their lives, and for us to go on about their lives, is how we stand up for freedom.
That's exactly right.
And we're not going to talk today about those divisive things that we're seeing in the news already today. Let's just leave it at that today's a day for unity.
Always, yep.
Mm-hmm. On a lighter note, Monday afternoon I had the chance to go and see a showcase of the robotics teams from our three of our schools in the county. Choctaw County High School, Choctaw County Elementary, and Southern Choctaw Elementary all had robotics teams that competed in the River Best Robotics competition in Thomasville We had some of that in the paper last week, and on Monday, they put on a display of those robots and what they've done with that program, and it's amazing to see.
Okay.
If you haven't seen any of that, we're going to show you a little bit of a video in just a minute, showing some of the amazing things that our kids are doing with that program.
I couldn't talk the next day, but Shannon and others were probably thankful for that. Okay, how about this? Let's let someone else go.
Believe it or not, they had to program that robot too. We had engineers from Georgia Pacific to help us with the programming. As you can tell, the programming's not perfect because after one time, it would mess up. And you know, it would break their hearts because they couldn't get it to do what it wanted to do. But we made progress from last year.
And just another note regarding the robotics program, following the showcase on Monday night, Georgia Pacific Corporation gave a $5,000 donation to the robotics program in the county and the public schools in the county, and we thank them for that and for their support. It really is something that's going to be beneficial to those students as they grow up. Hopefully a lot of them will move in the direction of engineering and other things to be involved in their future because they've had a chance to be a part of that program. So Clint, what's going on in the world of sports?
In the world of sports, let's see here. High school first. I guess we ought to talk about high school. This is the first week of the AISA state playoffs. South Choctaw will face Abbeville in a rematch from earlier in the season at Jackson Field. Kickoff of that is at 7 o'clock. Patrician Academy will face Lowndes, and if you'll remember, Patrician, they played Lowndes just a few weeks ago. Earlier in the season, they played them over in Lowndes County, but that game is also at home. That is the SunTV game of the week. This is the last week of the Alabama High School Athletic Association regular season. Southern Choctaw will travel to Dixon's Mills. They face the Marengo Panthers. Choctaw County High, homecoming at Tiger Stadium. They'll take on the Linden Patriots. Milry will host Leroy, and Sweetwater travels way over into southeast Alabama. They'll take on New Brockton. Big game of the week, Alabama will take on the LSU
I knew you were
Tigers.
going to get to that.
Yeah, 7 o'clock. That's going to be the night game, 7 o'clock on CBS.
Are you going to be watching?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's starting to get exciting. Also, the silly season is starting in college football. A lot of a lot of shakeups going on.
For some reason, I saw today that they have ranked Georgia number 1 and Alabama number 2. What's going on with that?
They have the rationale, and I'll say it like Nick. I can't say it like Nick Saban because this is a family program. That it doesn't matter as long as Alabama takes care of business. They're going to be in. Doesn't matter 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, you know, it could even be a good thing for the drive of that team to feel like that they have to prove themselves.
But the rationale was Georgia has played a couple more nationally ranked teams than Alabama.
And that's about to change.
That'll all cancel out. But right now, a ranking is take care of business. That's all you got to do.
It just don't really sit right with us Crimson Tide folks.
I'd rather be ranked number 2.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times if you get snubbed, now Alabama did get snubbed, but
True.
they poked the proverbial elephant, if you will.
That's exactly right. That's right. Just a little bit of a note. We do know that the AISA playoffs are about to begin, and the AHSAA playoffs will be shortly starting. We want to make mention of a program note regarding SunTV.
Right.
That we will be covering AISA's playoffs with SunTV broadcast, but we will not be broadcasting AHSAA playoffs for reasons that have to do with the way that it's structured with that organization. Right. And the what I have to say are very, very high cost for anyone who wants to broadcast those games. It's really, in my opinion, very exorbitant cost, and something that we just have chosen. We will be there with our cameras, but not with our video.
Well, you can't, the thing is, our viewers need to understand, is you can't do a live broadcast.
That's right. You
without
can only do
High School
delayed.
Athletic Association.
Even the delayed broadcast costs you a
Yes.
lot, just to be able to put that game on after the fact. And so we have weighed those options and decided it's not really cost effective to broadcast a game that's not live and that people already know the results of and have to pay that amount of money to do so.
Right. And also, we could always use new sponsors for that.
That's exactly
That's coming up, and if you would like to help us out with that, you can call the office at 251-843-6397.
Well, we wanted to make mention of that so that it wouldn't appear that we were trying to choose
Exactly.
AASA over AHSAA. But those are the reasons and the only reasons why we would choose to do that.
That's
We would
exactly
love to be there when the Indians play, for however far they go, or Millry,
Or Sweetwater.
or Sweetwater, or even Choctaw County High School if they were to make it that far in the near future.
Right.
But just having said that, we hope people will be watching as we broadcast the AISA champion playoff games, and we may even have a broadcast of the championship game. We feel like one or both of our local teams may be there in Troy.
Hard to believe it's already playoff time, folks, by the way, but it is here.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Exciting time.
it is an
And it's
exciting
football weather.
time.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we hope you enjoyed our show for today. Just be safe, and we'll see you on Friday.